Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim. This is a Cash Calling AC Sports Report. First of all, tonight is the final night to vote for our Cash Calling AC Athlete of the Year. Right now, I think it's obvious who's going to win, and I don't want to make this sound like a presidential election, but your vote probably won't mean anything. Don't let that discourage you from going to vote. I'll make an annotation on the video, so all you're going to have to do is click right there, and you can go vote on who your Athlete of the Year is. There's 12 candidates, and we've even got some writing candidates such as Jamarcus Russell, and that is a pretty strong candidacy he's put together this year. So from that, two big trades went down, or a big trade and a free agent signing went down today in the MLB. Let's start with the free agent signing. Carlos Beltran, who had been out there for a while, agreed to a 2-year deal today with the St. Louis Cardinals. Obviously, what's going to happen now, Beltran will play right field, and then you will have to move Lance Berkman into first base with Albert Pujols, obviously leaving a big hole there. Now, I don't want to make this sound like Albert Pujols meant nothing and they're going to win the World Series again, because they're probably not. But don't let the fact that Albert Pujols left make you think that the Cardinals couldn't make the playoffs next year. You add Adam Wainwright, who 2 years ago was a Cy Young candidate, really for a few years in a row there, before missing all last year with Tommy John surgery. Lance Berkman had a tremendous year. And Carlos Beltran, when he can stay healthy, batted .300 last year with 22 home runs and 84 RBIs. And that was really, he was a flop when he was with the Giants, because he just was not able to get on the field enough and ultimately did not do what they brought him in there to do. And they gave up their number one pitching prospect, which is terrible for the Giants. And Carlos Beltran's not going to give you the production he gave you 5 years ago, where he's hitting 41 home runs. But he's going to bring a solid switch-hitting bat to the lineup. He's still got some pop left. He's still a pretty solid player, and he's a pretty decent right fielder considering he moved there from center field last year. So I like the signing. The Cardinals have some work to do, but their lineup still shapes out to be pretty good. If Matt Holliday can stay healthy, which isn't usually what happens, but if that can happen. And the thing I was worried about with Lance Berkman was that without Albert Pujols in the lineup, he wouldn't be able to see any pitches, and he's not going to be seeing the same pitches, but he'll see a lot more with Carlos Beltran in the lineup. It remains to be seen who will bat clean, but I would tend to think Beltran bats third, Holliday bats cleanup, and Lance Berkman bats fifth, but we'll have to see what happens. The bigger deal I actually think that went down today is the Washington Nationals acquired Gio Gonzalez from the Oakland A's. And if you're an A's fan, I just really got to wonder, from Billy Beane, who had a movie made about him that might win an Oscar, what does this guy do that is so smart? Every good young player he's gotten over the past 5 to 10 years, he's traded away. I mean, you can go down the list from Nick Swisher to, I mean, they got Matt Holliday for a while and traded him away and got absolutely nothing for him. Every move the A's make puzzles me, and this one's probably the most puzzling. After winning 15 in 2010, he went 16-12. I'm reading this from ESPN. With a 3.12 ERA last year, he made 32 starts and went to the All-Star game. The guy is 26 years old, and what he brings is basically a guy that you're getting on the cheap. He's going to make about $4 million. I understand when he reaches arbitration, maybe saying, okay, we got to make a choice on one of these pitchers. But the A's already traded away Trevor Cahill, who is a beast when he's on. They traded him away to the Diamondbacks. They traded away Gio Gonzalez to the Nationals. And it just reminds me of the Florida Marlins, except what the Marlins did was they won and then they traded away the players. What the A's did is they just get good young players and then they trade them. Why would you trade a 26-year-old who will make $4 million next year, hasn't even reached arbitration? Why would you do that? That makes no sense. You can get the top 4 prospects in baseball, and that still doesn't make sense, because he can go out and he can prove more the next season, and really you can make the money off of having him there. You can win some more games by having him there, and the A's get this reputation that Billy Beane's a genius, uses sabermetrics, and builds this great team. What have the A's done? Like, they made a run a few years ago, 2006, to the ALCS. But other than that, where have they been? Nowhere. And I mean, that's the part that I really just do not get here. I don't understand what they're trying to build for, because every time they get a good player, he's shipped away just as quickly. You can't tell me next year the A's are trying to say, oh, if we get all these young prospects up here, we're going to win. Because you just traded away 2 pitchers under the age of 27 who could potentially win numerous Cy Youngs. Hey, I mean, for the Nationals, you have Steven Strasburg, Jordan Zimmerman, Gio Gonzalez, obviously, and a few other solid young pitchers. The lineup for them is actually pretty good. And I just look at that and say exactly what I said with the Carolina Panthers this offseason. Man, they got a really good young nucleus, and if they contended, on paper, they should actually contend. And then what I realized with the Panthers is John Beeson gets hurt, and you just see a few other guys go down, and it exposes a bunch of holes. But they do have a bright future with Cam Newton, and I think Steven Strasburg will step in right away and pitch at a Cy Young level next year. I think moving to the National League, the NL East is a pretty, I don't know, it's not a great hitting division. The Marlins are probably now the best hitting team in the division. The Phillies, when their lineups together and playing well, which hasn't been happening over the last 2 or 3 years. I'm a Phillies fan, I'll tell you that much. And the Mets offense just sucks, and the Braves offense is mediocre at best. So it's not a terribly tough division to pitch in. So if you get that type of pitching, you're going to be able to, down the road, compete with the Hallidays and Lees as they age. And eventually, in 2 or 3 years, I've been saying, look out for the Nationals. The Nationals make a great move here. I think you do give up 4 very good young prospects, but when you get a 26-year-old who's ace material and under team control for numerous years to come, only going to make $4 million, what would make sense here is if they try and go out and give him a 5 or 6 year extension and try and get him, instead of waiting until he hits free agency and watching him get 14 or 15 million, give him a 4-year, $45 million deal. See what he does. It's worth a try. Nationals, great day. Cardinals, solid day. A's, what the hell are you doing? Vote for the Athlete of the Year. I'm Tim. I'll see you later.